Hello music makers, welcome back to Make the Music. I hope you're having a great day, and today we're going to be going over what I call the Brandon Flowers vocal sound or the Killers vocal sound. It's that slap delay sound that you hear on almost every Killers record at some point. And so how do we get that sound? How do we make it work in the mix? Number one is artistic context. You really want to be able to work in the song. If you're having this really clean, pristine pop song, I don't know if the slap vocal effect that's very present in the mix was really going to work. But if you're working on a rock track like this, slap delay has been used for ages, starting back with the early rock and roll era, through Bruce Springsteen, and then all the way into the present day with rock stuff. And I just want to break down how do we get that sound, how do we make it work in the mix. So I have a mix here. I'll just play you the verse part where you can really hear it.
Can you feel it in the air? I always felt it was so.
And then a chorus part here.
I gave you this land.
So we have a clear slap vocal delay sound going on. Let me solo the vocals here so you can really hear it.
Can you feel it in the air? I always felt it was so clear. I'm finding space up.
So let's break down the sound. I have this vocal, it's bussed to a lead vocals bus, and then finally to a final vocals bus. The only thing that's really affecting the slap sound on the final vocals bus is there's a little lustrous plates reverb going on. It's a little bit of a room reverb sound. I'll take that off.
Can you feel it in the air?
It's very subtle. Most of the sound is going to be in that slap delay. Now, also what really works with a slap delay sound that most people miss is actually quite a bit of saturation on the vocal helps it. And so I have this London virtual collection as well as the VCC channel to give the vocal a little bit of gain.
Can you feel it in the air?
It's just adding a subtle amount of gain and distortion there. It just helps with the slap effect. You really can hear that a lot actually. So now here's the main vocal here. I have a compressor. I use multiple stages of compression as we kind of reviewed in the previous video there. Nothing too crazy going on there. Now here's the delay sound. That's just a stock Reaper slap delay, and here's my settings.
Can you feel it in the air?
Let me take that delay off.
Can you feel it in the air? I always felt.
And what comes to these vocal effects, as Chris Lord-Alge always says, I'll probably do a video on that, is if the listener can really apparently hear a reverb or delay sound, it's too loud and you need to dial it back. So really my job is to get that delay sound just loud enough that it's not overpowering the vocal and you can really, clearly discern the sound, but really it just adds dimension to the vocal. So here's the vocal without the delay.
Can you feel it in the...
And then I'll add the slap.
Can you feel it in the air?
Really adds a lot of dimension to that vocal. Makes it sound so much fuller in the mix.
Can you feel it in the air? I always felt it was so clear.
It sounds really mono without it, and then you add it in, it gives it this stereo feel. The vocal sounds bigger than it actually is, like it has some doubles on it. So here's my settings. I'm using eighth notes, 0.58 notes. This is with the Reaper stock. I got the wet set to -7.8. The feedback down at -10.9. Here's where a lot of people go wrong. It's their low pass and high pass settings. If you have low pass set too high, there's going to be too much top end in that slap, and it's going to sound too harsh. And then if you don't have the high pass set, if it's set all the way down, it's going to pick up a lot of the low end. And so there's going to be a lot of low end buildup with your slap delay, and it's not going to sound very clear. So here's an example, too much slap delay. I mean, it's an artistic choice, but in my opinion, this is probably a bit too much. Let me solo the vocal.
Can you feel it in the air? I always felt it was so clear. I'm finding space up.
It just starts to sound distracting at that point. It's just way too loud. And so that's a good setting I like to have there. And so that's the key to the slap vocal sound. I'll play it in the entire mix again.
Can you feel it in the air? I always felt it was so.
Fits nicely in the mix, add some body to it, and it's that classic delay sound. Bonus tip here would be do not put the slap delay sound on the backing vocals, because backing vocals, see, I have a lot here in the final chorus.
I gave you this land. I did the best I can.
because we have all the timing of all these syllables, we don't want to add slap delay to it. So now we have all these syllables that are just slightly off, slapping around each other. It really creates an incredibly cluttered vocal sound. So I just like to keep, I have the lustrous plates, a little room reverb, add some dimension to the backing vocals without completely just making the backing vocals too messy and really hard to distinguish what the vocal is actually saying in the mix. So that's my tip there for slap vocal sound, that Killers classic rock and roll vocal sound. Let me know, how do you get your slap vocal sound? What do you put on vocals? I'm really curious to hear. And so that's what I've got for today's video. Please like and subscribe to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.